So hello YouTube, what I have in front of you is this thing, which is a photo camera made by Sony. It is called Mavica, which stands for magnetic video camera, and this model is, I believe, FD71, if I'm not, yes, so the MVC FD71. And I went to Hrelić, which is a flea market, and I bought this thing for 5 kunas, which is 75 cents more or less. And the awesome thing is, when I bought this thing, I saw that it has a lithium battery, and I've seen this battery before. And where did I see it? Well, at my place. I bought this battery, I think for I'm not even quite sure for what it was. This battery is used widely in a lot of studio lighting and whatnot. Anyway, and this battery, model of this battery is Son. But Sony, as always, in its wisdom, they, I think, copyrighted battery or something, or they installed the chip. I don't know whether you can see it or not. Okay, disk full. But, yes, this is not the genuine battery, or it does not have a Sony's firmware. So I was a bit disappointed. Then I went on eBay and I decided to buy a new battery. Let me show you which one I bought. See, I bought this one, and this is the way it looked when I was viewing it on eBay. Yeah, this battery was actually 25 bucks. So we are now way over $5. So the next thing, I was quite determined to to see whether this thing is actually working or not. Remember, I paid 75 cents for it. So I ordered another battery. And this thing arrived. And this thing is actually working with the camera. However, the failure goes on. This thing arrived with this charger. And this charger arrived with this wire. And believe it or not, this wire is faulty. So yeah. Oh, by the way, the things you hear is actually my dog. She is between my legs. Hey, Stella. Huh? Anyway, let's continue. I'll actually, you know what? Let's see how many wires are there inside this genuine Chinese. Whether I can actually break this thing, who knows, you know. I'm not quite sure, but well, that was easier than expected. So yeah, this is the amount of wires that this thing has inside. So high quality stuff, and does not want to focus. Well, anyway, now of course the disc inside is actually the disc that was inside the camera when I bought it. Now let me show you where I found it. Now the seller didn't want me to record the purchase, but let me just show you where this thing was lying. Fuck you. $4. Some fishing rods and stuff. Okay, so anyway, I actually do have a floppy disk drive. Let me show you. I mean, who doesn't? In 2020 you need to have a floppy disk drive. And this one is USB. So you know what? Let's take a look at what's on this floppy disk. It's actually awesome. You know what? I'll actually leave this thing as a slideshow at the end of the video. But you know what's the impressive part? This floppy disk drive is working. So there you have it. This is the resolution, and the ladies that are... So ladies, if you recognize yourself, I have your photos. This is something I found off a flea market, and there is actually so there are actually master's thesis on this floppy disk, and it is something regarding banks and money. Go figure. Awesome. So you know what? Let me show you the camera itself, and I'll be taking some photos. Well, I took some photos because, believe it or not, I have actually a brand new case of floppy disks, and I had a birthday a couple of weeks ago, and my entire birthday was photographed only with this camera, and that was not a good idea. The quality of this camera is not that great. But you know what? Let me show you the camera itself, and I'll show you the photos. There are actually some good photos, you'll see. Oh, and by the way, before I continue, I didn't know what to do with these two batteries, so I actually bought another lighting, and this one is quite good. It's Viltrox. I never heard of the brand, but it is quite nice, and it is working with both batteries, which is awesome. So as you can see, this is actually quite good. Anyway, I'll be turning this thing off. There you go. On the rear there is actually nothing much except the slot for the battery, which you just push in and close this thing, and there is a mount for the stand, of course. On the left side there is a focus, which can be manual and automatic. On the right side there is a floppy disk, obviously. So let's take a look at the front side. There is, of course, for the battery, which I already mentioned, 2025. This is a flash, and believe me, this thing actually needs flash, especially if you're taking photos in the dark, and 99% of photos in the dark will be blurry because this thing does not have an LED that pre-focuses. And we have here a button which is play or camera, obviously. We have a couple of effects, and I will be showing you. I will be taking photo of this thing, and I will be showing you what it looks like with a couple of effects. There is a program and display option. Here we have a backlight switch which turns the backlight on and off. So it's 2020, and my computer is actually trying to boot off of a floppy disk drive. So I did top up a battery a bit, and still booting off of a floppy disk drive. Let's try to turn this thing on and to see what are the options. Now there are a couple of zoom is actually quite nice, as you can see, and there are a couple of effects, which is negative, sepia, black and W, solarize, and that's pretty much it. Let me show you the menu itself. The menu is actually quite simple. We have a recording mode, which is normal, email, bitmap, and multi. I'm not quite sure what the multi is. Perhaps it records in two formats. I did not actually consult the menu. Qualities, there is actually two settings. One is fine and the other one is standard. Flash level has three settings, which is high, normal, and low. File number, series or normal, fair enough. This tool is probably, to format. You can actually copy disk, which is awesome. It's kind of cool. Beep and clock set, and this is actually correct. I wanted to show you this thing, which is backlight, which you can actually turn off and on, and when you turn on the backlight you actually get this thing flashing. So I'm guessing this is the lamp that actually lights up the LCD. So zoom is nice, but taking photos with this thing in dark, not really. So we have exposure, which can be either minus or plus, obviously, and we have a timer in here, and this is, I believe, the brightness of the display. Yes, as you can see, you can actually make it quite dim. Last but not least, we have the lever, which is actually used to eject floppy. By the way, this is the floppy I'm currently using. And it's impressive that this thing actually works, especially because it is a floppy disk drive. And in the end, you know what, let's take a look at the front, and there is nothing much to show. I'm guessing this is a light sensor, I believe. This is the flash, obviously, and the lens itself. And this thing is actually quite ergonomic to use. You know, it's not obviously small as modern day cameras, but it is quite nice. So I'll be taking a couple of photos and posting them in the video. And I will be also posting high resolution photos of this camera, since there are not many on the internet. So if you need photos for yourself, perhaps I'll post the links down below. Anyway, now let's start the slideshow. If you like this video, please click thumbs up, consider subscribing. If you have any questions or any ideas what to do with this camera, please let me know. I'll be actually keeping this camera because it is quite neat. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is not something I would use every day, but it is cool. Well, at least in my opinion, I like such